Hey, this is Beau from the Vulnerable Vikings, and I wanted to make sure that everybody understood what this podcast is all about. It's adapted from some things that I've brought into my life, and it has a little bit to do with my old Beau Not Broken concept. The first thing is faith. Well, I'll tell you, it's faith, courage, endurance, and resilience. And so the people that we're going to have on, the things we're going to talk about, we're not talking about specifically religious faith. We're talking about faith in yourself and how sometimes that gets broken down over time or it continues to happen over a lifetime. The next thing is courage. A lot of times to get out of your comfort zone and to get out of maybe a rut or something like that, you've got to have courage. Courage to start a new business, courage to leave a marriage, courage to, crack down on your kids and make sure they're doing the things they need to do. The next, endurance. This life is tough. This life is a tough life, and with little bits, sprinkles of joy. And so, if you can make it through, and together, that's why the Vulnerable Vikings. Together, we want to help people get through life, enjoy life, solve problems that they have or other things, and move on. And that's important. And the last thing is resilience. Resilience is something that it's amazing how humans have the ability to, when they're down and out, they can come back from almost anything, whether it's disease, whether it's depression, whether it's darkness, whether it's whatever it is. They lose a job, they lose a relationship. And we're going to talk about all those things. Those would be the basis for the questions that we have for our guests and the basis for the show. And so I wanted to talk just for a minute about balance in life. As an old guy, I don't believe that you can ever achieve total balance. I think we're always in the pursuit of balance, whether it's your personal life, your public life, your health, your fitness, your emotional stability, your everything that has to do with balance is always a work in progress. So I want people to understand that those that are going to be on our show and those that are doing the show, hosting the show, are always in constant pursuit of balance. And we're here not to make people feel bad. We're here to make people feel good about what that's all about, how they might be bettering their life, and to move on in the pursuit of balance. I wanted to pass on something that I've been around a long time, and that's the world of trying to stay in shape and fitness. And at my age and with all the experience of personal training and professional athletics and all those types of things, we're going to cover some things here at the Vulnerable Viking. But the one thing that holds true is you can't progress, you can't be fit, you can't lose weight without doing the right things and doing the work. And we're going to talk about that on our show. We're going to have multiple people on that talk about how to do it. You cannot do it through pills. You can't do it through shots. You got to work for it. And so in a vulnerable way, we're going to find a lot of good things that you can do to increase your health and be well. And this topic, dating, is going to be a fun one. We obviously, with Lacey and with other ladies that will come on, and men, this would be a great topic to talk about, whether you're 25 or you're 65 or whatever else it might be. So I hope you'll look forward to some of our conversations and discussions about the world of dating and the vulnerability that it brings, and how relationships start, how they end, and how we're all trying to navigate the pursuit of happiness and love and relationship and partnerships. One of the topics that we're going to bring to you quite often is child development. That also has to do with grandchildren and things like that. So for the old people and then for the young people. But we're going to have a real special guest on, and her name, well, she's my ex-wife, and that's Beau Babka. She's a specialist in the world of child development and the public education system. And it's going to be fun to have her on because we'll have the interaction of raising our children and then her interaction of being a school principal at the moment. So One of the other topics we're going to have on the Vulnerable Viking is we're going to talk about cancer. We're going to talk about cancer quite often, and we're going to have people on the show that either will be fighting that currently or others that might have lived to tell their tale. And then we're also going to talk about people that have passed. But currently, in April, I was diagnosed with stage 4 melanoma. I'm no longer in that stage, but I do have cancer in the lower part of my body. I'm being treated with immunotherapies and trying to do all kinds of different types of things, alternative type medicines as well. So it's really going to hit home for me. I hope it hits home with a lot of other people. So I hope you'll join us for all our discussions on the Vulnerable Vikings. We're going to cover so much on the Vulnerable Viking that one of the other topics, we're going to talk about all kinds of things, but we're going to talk about business, highlighting businesses. Obviously, we're going to be highlighting individuals and their stories, but we also want to highlight businesses that have amazing stories of, upstart, some demise. We're going to talk to some entrepreneurs that have, lost more than they've won. And it should be really fun because there's a lot of people in our communities that have had just amazing experiences in startup, amazing experiences in their life that have brought them to what they actually do and how they love what they do. That old saying of, not really being at work, loving what you do and not really, it doesn't even feel like work, really goes for it. So we hope you'll join us for that. I've highlighted quite a few topics that we're going to have on the Vulnerable Viking, and I hope you'll join us. This is, again, no holds barred. This is vulnerability at its best, to bring out the strength and show people's strength, show the vulnerability, show the goods, the bads, the uglies, and I hope you'll join us for every topic under the sun.